Hello students. So I hope now you all are revising your theory topics and also some associated problems that we discussed. So now today we decided to start discussing the questions based upon JEE main pattern. If you try to recall in this chapter, we already discussed the question based upon this JEE advanced pattern. The aim of these questions is not to provide you the solution of these questions, but to inculcate a habit in your mind so that you can start attempting these problems with the required aptitude. That is important. Fine. Let's say I am explaining you 1000 problems, but if you are not learning the approach, then it's meaningless. But if I am discussing only few problems with the proper approach, with the quality, and if you have developed this habit, then obviously you are going to score good marks. So rather than wasting your time, the topic is electric charges and fields. So before taking this session forward, I assume that you already revised the points and subtopics under this chapter, that is charges and fields. So let's start one by one the question. What I'll do, I'll first elaborate the question, then the space available over here or here, I will provide you the necessary steps to find the solution. Fine. So here it's your first question. Now try to understand on which topic the question is based. What exactly they are trying to ask in the question, because in JEE mains exam you have to attempt 90 questions in 3 hours. So it's like that 2 minutes for each question. Fine. So in physics, 2 minutes for each question, you may say, sir, it is quite difficult in terms of time management because few questions are quite long, few questions require a lot of calculation. So here we are discussing the strategy also to manage your time, because few questions are based upon simple concepts. So in just few like 30 to 40 seconds you can answer that questions, and after answering this question you can devote your time in this fashion to long questions. So what exactly asked in this question? Just read, think and try to learn the way I am trying to explain. Now you had two positive charges. Be very careful from the very first word of the question. Each carrying charge Q separated by a distance d. So one thing is quite sure, because charges are positive and in this question they are talking about force, so the force is going to be repulsive in nature because the nature of the charges is same. So this point should start clearing in the mind from the starting of the question. Now if F is force of repulsion, which is now mentioned, so it's like that the question is now in a very easy format. Between the ions, if F is force of repulsion between these positive ions, fine, then you have to find the number of electrons missing from each ion. Now till now everything is fine, but moment you come on to this line, find the numbers of electrons missing from each ion. I mean, how you can find? This is the natural question that may come in your mind. So over here what you will have to do, try to recall the simple formula that I would like to mention over here in this fashion. That is, F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square. This is your basic formula. Fine. Now it means what? It means that two charges separated by a distance, the Coulombian force is acting like this. So don't you think this question is very simple? Fine. And basic application of Coulomb's force of attraction or repulsion. You have to find the number of electrons. It means you have to do something over here, because this is something which is a constant term. This is something which is a distance that is given as d. So problem is, what is the value of charges Q1 and Q2, because ultimately you have to find the number of electrons missing from each ion. It means Let us say this is a charged body, and if I removed certain number of electrons, the body is going to be positively charged. Let us say this blue color chalk is another body. Let us say I removed certain number of electrons, now it is going to positively charge. So both are now positively charged. Now if I will try to bring them closer, what they will do? They will put force of repulsion. So same thing is happening over here. Now my question is, how many electrons I removed from here? How many questions are I removed from here? Fine. So it means over here the situation has been very much simplified. Why? Because they say each carrying charge Q. So it means number of electrons removed from this chalk holder is equal to number of electrons removed from this blue chalk. Now the problem is more simplified, and that is, this is a JEE pattern question, JEE mains pattern question. Around you may say 60 to 70% questions in JEE mains are very fundamental questions. If you are a good student and you are regularly revising your concepts, you are going to score very good marks, and getting admission in any IIT is going to be very simple after scoring good marks in mains. Fine, because obviously you will get a chance to perform in advance. Now, so what I'll have to do? I have to do something with this Q1 and Q2. So let's say I'm going to utilize the formula over here with the different color chalk. That is, the question is in front of you. So F, that is force of attraction. That's why positive this sign. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. No problem to anyone. Now, let's say Q1 is equal to Ne. N is number of electrons and E is charge of one electron. Because second is Ne. Now, why I am saying Q1, Q2 same? Because it is given in the problem. It's not I am saying. Okay. So, rather than Q1, Q2, I have to use Ne into Ne, where N is number of electrons. Very good. So, let's use a different color chalk, Ne into Ne upon distance d square. Now, in just one line you will get the solution. How? And how exactly you can find the solution? So, from here I can write down 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught N square E square upon D square. I hope no problem to anyone. So, now from here it's crystal clear that N square is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught D square upon this F, fine, and then this E square. So, according to me, the correct solution is this one, D, just two-step solution of this problem. Fine. So, I hope this way, after reading the problem carefully, if you will move, obviously you will find the problems very simple. Now, let's say we have to move for the next question to discuss. Fine, that is question number 2. Now, an electron is moving around the nucleus of a hydrogen atom. Very first thing you have to do, you have to draw the diagram, utmost important. Fine, so that you can start visualizing the problem. Electron moving around the nucleus of a hydrogen atom in a circular orbit of radius r. Fine. Okay, let's say this is the nucleus of hydrogen atom, and our best friend electron is revolving like this. Fine, and this distance is r. This diagram on rough. Simply draw the diagram. Fine. And rough sheet is provided to all of you in examination hall. Fine. Now, the Coulomb force F between two is how much? The expression of the options is slightly different mode. Fine. But you cannot say like that, because while I was discussing this topic, I specifically devoted one entire lecture on Coulomb's law in vector form. So this question is directly based from that particular question. Fine, from that particular topic. So in that say, you can say during the discussion of regular topics in regular lectures, we are also telling you the expected questions, or somehow you know what question they are going to ask. Fine, that's why we discuss that particular concept, Coulomb's law in vector form. So everything is simple over here. Simply you have to apply this concept. How? Obviously the k is nothing but 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Fine. The very first thing that should come in your mind, answer is going to be positive or negative, because electron is negatively charged and this nucleus is positively charged. So one thing is quite sure, see the beauty of the approach, that this solution should be with negative sign. Why? Reason, electron is bound to the positively charged nucleus, that's why it's revolving, and centripetal force is not allowing the electron to go inside. Fine. So over here what you'll have to do, that B not possible. D not possible because they are showing repulsion. So possible answer is A and C only. This clever trick, this intelligent approach will ensure that you are not going to commit a mistake. Fine. So now let's start how to solve this problem. One thing is quite sure, correct answer is either A or B. Now if I don't solve this problem, then just by watching I will simply say in Kepler's laws at a point, is it like that you can say Q cube? Not possible. So they just want to check, are you intelligent enough to read the question properly? This question needs only 10 seconds in examination hall to solve. Force of attraction, impossible, impossible. Okay, E square R cube vector R E cube, oh my god, not possible. So simply, even without writing a single line, the correct answer is C. So these type of questions, and the specific reason why I picked these type of questions, just to show you these are actual problems. Fine. So they are using these problems just to check your concentration, how focused you are, and hardly it requires 10 to 20 seconds, not more than that. And if it is like this, you are going, you are okay, you are go through. Fine. So this is the situation for this particular problem. Now for this R cube unit vector R, this is something that we already discussed over here in this regular lecture. Now let's move for the third question. Fine. And diagram on rough sheet is important. Fine. So here 2 point charges plus 8q and minus 2q are located at x is equal to 0. Okay. And x is equal to L. So I hope the diagram is clear in the mind itself. Fine. X is equal to 0 and x is equal to L. So the very simple thing that should come in your mind, that the distance between 8q and 2q is capital L. Fine. Because one is positive, another is negative, so they are going to attract each other. So the sign of the final force is going to be with minus sign. Okay. The location of a point on x-axis at which the value of E net is 0. E net is 0 means what? Net electric field is 0. Now a question may come in your mind, how exactly? Okay. Go back to the basics. Minus charge means field lines inward. Plus charge means field line outward. So, it means outgoing, incoming, somewhere they will cancel each other and you have to find out that value only. Fine. So, let us start this discussion how exactly you are going to find this solution. Fine. Let us allow me to draw the diagram, that is this point, and this is nothing but x axis. Fine. So, let us say this is plus 8q as given in the problem, and let us say this is going to be minus 2q. Fine. Let us say this is close to each other. Why to put it like here? Let us say this minus 2q is situated over here. Fine. And this distance is capital L. Question is in front of you, approach I explained. Now whatever I am solving, you just take a look of this particular situation. So, let us say this is point O and this is point A. Fine. From here, let us say this is a point P, where we are saying that net electric field is 0. Why? Because for this charge, the field lines are going to be like this for this negative charge, and for positive charge the field line, let me give it a name, let us say this is EA. Fine. And for this, let us say this is EO. I hope this diagram is clear in the minds of each and everyone, and this is x axis. Fine. Now this point is x is equal to 0 and this point is x is equal to L as I mentioned. Now for, I am writing just one line, for E naught is equal to EA, that is EO means this value of electric field at somewhere, and this A, only if they are going to equal each other, only then you may say that the field is, net field is going to be 0. Fine. So, let us put the value over here, and the basic formula we know each that particular term. So, we are going to put that formula, that is K, fine, into 8q over x square. This distance is, let us say, x. Fine. And then this EA value, so EA value is going to be again K and then 2q upon this distance of x minus L square, x minus L whole square. What exactly we are doing? We are saying that the total distance like x. Fine. So, accordingly this K, Q and Q cancelled, and then what exactly we have left? So, let us allow this space so that I can use it. It is going to be 8 upon x square is equal to 2 upon x minus L whole square. I hope the calculation now is so simple that even if I am writing x is equal to 2L, you are going to be very much comfortable with this, because 2 into 4 then square is going to be resolved. So, simply x is equal to 2L. Now, let us try to find out which one is the correct option. So, this A is going to be the correct option as such. Fine. Now, with these 3 questions, I would like to tell you, till now as such it not happened that any very complicated concept is associated. They tried to use the fundamental formulae, fundamental things. Fine. Anyone who is preparing with this approach in the mind, that if concepts, basics are clear, really you are going to pass out this exam, mains or advance of JEE with flying colors. But if your basics are not strong, you are really going to land in a trouble land. Fine. So, see the diagram, see the explanation, everything is so simple. Don't take it that this is a very difficult exam and something like that. Very simple approach, and with the help of each and every problem, I am just trying to explain the situation of each and every question. Fine. So here now I am coming on to the next problem, and this problem is again based upon basic concept. So first we all will try to read, think, visualize the problem. A charge of magnitude 3e, fine, E may be electron charge or anything else, and mass 2m. Okay. So very first thing in your examination hall on rough sheet, simply do one thing. With the help of pen, draw this simple point. Let's say mass is 2m, and then let's say charge is 3e. Okay, now visualization starts. Is moving in an electric field E. Fine. Now imagine the situation. That concept I would like to revise over here. And this is something during the discussion of the lecture of this topic I devoted very good amount of time to explain this way, that way, all possible ways. Fine. So let's say this chalk holder has positive charge, and I simply bring it from some place and placed over here. Then let's say electric field lines are moving in this direction, my right side. What will happen? This positive charge have the tendency to start accelerating in the field lines. Fact number 1. If it is a negative charge, what it will do? Reverse to the field lines. So ultimately a acceleration will come into picture, even if it is not given in the problem. This is something that is very much clear to you from the basic understanding, but they simplified your problem itself in the given in the question, the acceleration imparted to the charge. Now see the beauty of these questions. They are asking so fundamental things, and I don't know why students are complaining that difficult paper and all these things. So now if I am saying that F is equal to QE type of formula we are going to apply. Just write down this formula on the rough sheet. Don't do anything on the OMR sheet or anywhere. Just do it on the rough sheet. So now you can say, okay, it means I have to talk in terms of 2m into acceleration. Basic Newton formula, class 9th. And over here E means what? 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, and then this charge. Fine. So the approach of these problems are very simple. So now let me allow to give you the correct approach and solution of these questions. Fine. Over here I would like to mention one more thing to all of you. If such type of problems asked, never ever go with lot of enthusiasm. Read, think, only then move. Fine. So what is the basic formula I should write down? The basic formula I should write down with maintaining cool and calm like this. F is equal to ma. So I am writing A is equal to Fe by m. Why Fe? Because in this problem the force is electrostatic in nature. Fine. Over here no role of gravitational force. So that's why I gave this specific value. Now Fe means what? Fe means QE. Yes. What is the value of Q in this problem? The value of Q, students, is 3e. Fine. So let's say rather than Q we will use 3e. Fine. And what is the value of mass? Oh my God, so simple. Now such type of questions don't require even pen or pencil to solve anything. In last few questions, if you just check previous year papers, you will find, if you are checking the previous year paper with cool mind, you will find around 50% are questions just checking your basic understanding. So what these teachers are trying to find? They don't want to find, how much you know, but they simply want to find, are you comfortable with your class 11th and 12th basic concepts or not? That's much. nothing more, nothing else. After getting the admission, only they will start teaching you engineering. Right now they just want to check the basic thing. So if you know how to apply these formulae, so the answer is now crystal clear in front of you. So if I am saying C, oh no, D, no, not at all, A, come on, this is going to be the B, 3EE upon twice M. What's so difficult over here? It's so simple. Fine. Provided you are moving with the basic approach of how exactly you are tackling the problems. Fine. Now, with this much emphasis on basic concepts, this is generally your teachers used to say also in your schools, make your basics strong, conceptual clarity, that is utmost important for these competitive exams. They don't want to check so large expressions, nothing like that. Fine. And this is something which I am not saying just for the sake of saying or motivating you. It is in front of you. I have proof. Now this question and movement, the tendency of the students, movement they see a question with 3-4 lines, they start, oh my god, this is so difficult, let's move. Why? Read, think, you have a rough sheet, try to draw the diagram, try to solve it. So let's try to decode the problem. Two charges each equal to Q. Now don't read anything else. It means if they are equal with sign, with magnitude, so they are going to repel at least. This conclusion I can draw just in these 5 words. Fine, whether it is required or not required, but intelligent understanding is this, okay, the meaning of these 5 terms, that these two charges are going to repel each other because their nature is same. Fine. Are kept at x is equal to minus a and x is equal to a on the x-axis. Diagram given. You just have to simply pick your pen and draw a line. Minus a and plus a. It means simply I can say if this is a line, fine. So try to understand. This is the origin, this is the rough diagram that you should, while you are reading the problem, pen and rough sheet. Okay, first line, draw the diagram. Second line, add the values and so on. So what will happen? Moment you finish the reading of the problem, you will say, okay, the first hand picture of the question is clear to me. Otherwise, what will happen? Once reading, twice reading, thrice reading, and lot of confusion. First line, translate. Second line, translate. So now, just take a look. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. This is rough diagram I am trying to draw. Fine. And this is going to be your origin, 0, 0. Fine. Now, x is equal to minus a means, let's say somewhere over here. And x is equal to plus a means equal distance over here. Fine. Put the charges, okay, q and q. And this all you are doing on rough sheet. Fine. But see the beauty, the picture is now coming out itself. Now, a particle of mass m and charge q0. And what is the value of q0? The beauty of the question is they even provided the value also. Is placed at origin. Okay. So this is going to be the origin and they place charge q0. Fine. Now, this is something which I am trying to show you. You have to exactly move in this fashion in examination hall. It's not required that you should draw a beautiful diagram because no one is asking you. Thing is that you should have the clarity of what exactly you are doing, then you will have to find the correct option. So now Q0, fine. If charge Q0 is given a small displacement y, okay, y means now I have this freedom to pick this blue charge and release it like this. But you have to maintain one thing. This displacement of y is very, very small comparatively to this distance. Fine? Okay. The net force acting on the particle is proportional to. The very first thing after watching this diagram in examination hall should come out from your mouth, it is going to perform periodic motion. Fine. Because it is also given y is going to be very, very less than a, so it is going to be simple harmonic motion. Try to recall Similar type of conditions I explained during the regular lecture discussions. So if you are regular with your lectures, around 70 to 80% problems of JEE Mains or JEE Advanced you are going to handle very properly. Fine. So now this diagram is clear to me, the situation is clear. So now I will try to provide you the solution in the proper fashion. Fine. One line that I would like to mention, minimum the charge Q0 will perform, and this is something which is not asked, but I am explaining just to enhance your understanding and knowledge. This charge Q0 will perform periodic motion. Periodic motion. Fine. Also, this is a conclusion which you can draw from here. Even this is a beautiful question. On just basis of this statement, 3-4 lines, we can create 3 questions just to check your further basic deep understanding. Fine. So I am just telling you. It may possible that this type of situation they may ask again. So the charge Q0 will perform periodic motion. Also, as y is very, very less than a, so we can say up to normal accuracy, we can say motion is also SHM. Moment you start thinking like this, all possible aspects, all possible angles of the problem, you are going to enjoy. Fine. So let's now move ahead and we'll try to find the exact solution which has been asked over here. The 2 lines I mentioned, obviously they are going to enhance your understanding. Fine, over here. So let's consider the situation. Over here, now I am going to draw the beautiful diagram, but you people never ever do these things in examination hall. Beautiful diagram is not required there. You have to just draw the diagram so much clear that you can just understand the situation. Don't waste time on anything which is not so much required. Fine. So over here it is going to Q, it is going to again Q. Fine. Now the charge, let's say over here. Fine. So this situation is going to give you A and this situation is going to give you A. Fine. Now this Q0 is here. So this will move like this in this fashion. So let's try to find the direction of the force. Fine. This way. Okay. Because the charges are similar, because the distance is similar, so the force is going to be like, let's say, F and F. Fine. This much time I am devoting to give you each and every aspect with clarity. Now, break the components. So, my dear students, this and this. So, what you will get finally? You will get, let's say this angle is theta. So, what you will get over here? That is one component, that is sine component over here and here. That sine component is anyway not useful for us. Simply say F sine theta, not required, because they will cancel out each other. What is important component? Important component is F net is equal to 2F cos theta. 2F cos theta. Fine. Now, what is the value of theta? So, see the situation. Theta 90. So, if I am saying it is 90 minus theta, you will say, okay, basic trivial point of the trigonometry. So, now from here what I can write down in totality. Fine. just take a look over here. I am going to write down the final step, that is F net is equal to twice. And what is the value of F? So the value of F is going to be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught. Fine. Again 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught. So because that I included in this 2F, so simply rather than twice writing this, once I will write down 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught. Fine. So over here if I'll put the value, then Q1 is Q and Q2 is Q by 2, because it is given in the problem. So finally what I will get F net is equal to, I'm avoiding to write down that exact Coulomb's formula, because in this, even in this discussion thrice I use that formula. Fine, basic formula. So directly you will get it as K is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q square. Q square means because Q naught itself is equal to Q by 2 given in the problem, then this Q value. So from here Y is also given in the problem, this displacement is Y. Fine. And in the diagram, just to show you the clarity, I said this is going to be like this. Otherwise, it is given in the problem, this Y is very, very less than this A. Fine. Upon A cube. Now, so from here what you can say? You can say that K Q square Y upon A cube. So directly it is proportional to Y. See the beauty? Constant, given constant, given constant. So ultimately F net is directly proportional to which quantity? Y. Fine. So now try to find out the solution of this problem. A is your answer. Fine. Again, Coulomb's law, Coulomb's law, Coulomb's law. When I was explaining the topic, it may possible for few of you that you may think, why the teacher again and again elaborating this Coulomb's law? The reason is this. They are asking the question based upon this law so many times. So now I would like to request all of you, please note it down. Fine. And then we will come back.